Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to Friday, guys. I hope you have all had a fantastic week so far. A big good morning to my co-host this morning, Brandon. How are you doing?
My lady Purple Valkyrie, I am doing so well. How are you doing?
Doing all right, thank you. Yeah, it's been a hectic week. It's StreamYards is being StreamYards again, but
Yep, unfortunately.
let's just just go with it. Let's just roll with it, shall we?
Absolutely.
Let me say hello to everybody in the chat. You guys are on fire as always. And let me say, before I do, a big thank you to MB Geek. Hello and good morning, Jesse. He says, uh, 5 episodes in and loving this show. Has nailed Spike all the way up to be standing on, I think that's on a wall. So I think it's time to blow this time. 3, 2, 1, let's jam. Thank you, Jesse. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Gotta admit, it is refreshing to see. Good to see you as well. So let's see who else we've got. We've got both Bash brothers. We've got Chris and Mark. Good morning, guys. We've got Renzero. Good to see you as always. Let's see. We've got number one. Hey there. Good to see you. We've got Keely Chow. Roll Tide Keely. Good morning. We've got Pacific 414. Hello. Good afternoon to Yitza Lemons. Hello, love. Good to see you. Let's see who else we have. We've got Sir Persalot. Hello and welcome. Dalek 451. Good to see you as well. The Star Wars guys, welcome to you. Good morning. Let's see who else. Archer Colin, good afternoon to you. Good to see you. Let's see. Dave Bob, there he is. Good morning, Dave Bob. Good to see you. I think that's everybody. So, oh no, the Dead and the Damned. Good to see you as well. Welcome, honey. I hope everyone is having a good one. And hello to James T. Skywalker. Welcome and good morning. So, this is a show that we kind of covered a couple of weeks ago on the lead up to it being released. It was released last night. I don't know about you, but it seemed to be released not at the time that I was expecting it for us. I thought it was going to be released about 8 o'clock this morning, and I was going to watch it while I was having breakfast, and it didn't. So I had to come back later and watch it. So I only got 3 episodes in.
I was
But
hoping to do a watch party with it last night because I was thinking,
Mhm.
okay, midnight Eastern time, 10 o'clock for me, that would be just right. I watched an episode of Star Trek to try and pump me up, and it didn't show up. So I said, screw it, going to bed.
I thought it was just me. I was like, I'm sure they said it was about 8 a.m. UK time, but no. So, as I said, I watched 3 episodes, and 3 episodes is generally the way, especially when it's 10 episodes longer series, is how I gauge whether a series is kind of any good. I think 3 episodes is kind of a good kind of number to kind of give them the benefit of the doubt
Yeah.
going into something. And before I do, Brandon, you didn't have to do that, but thank you. It
Well,
says it says to
I've been
MBG.
away. I've been away most of the week, so this is my tithe to you for the week.
Oh no, I know you've been incredibly busy this week, so but very happy to have you. Respectfully disagree, so MBG. Hello all, and let's burn this down. Absolutely, and that's
Yes.
that's exactly what we want. I'd love to have differing opinions when it comes to shows, especially shows like this. And hello, Kaylee D. Hello, sweetheart. Good to see you. Welcome. So, I'm coming at this show from somebody who I will put my hands up and say I have not watched the anime. It is on my list to watch because everybody that I've spoken to has said it's an incredibly good show. It's just one of those kind of benchmark animes that you just have to watch. But you, obviously, are a fan going into this.
Yes. Yeah, I really like the show. This is one of those shows that I should have seen when it first came out, my late teens, early 20s. I didn't. I've only just seen it and watched it and thoroughly enjoyed it now. And I can tell you this show as the anime, it holds up extremely well. I can see why this show has been on so many people's, top 3, top 5, top 10 lists for as long as it has. It has everything: great animation, great storytelling, and the music in it. It's it's jazz, and jazz
Mhm.
just has that way. especially the free flowing jazz, to just grip you and not let you go. And that's exactly what they did with the anime. The anime, for being just a 26 episode season arc, and that's it, has
Mhm.
stood the test of time.
I didn't realize it was only 26 episodes. I
Yeah,
thought it
it's
was
just
longer.
26 episodes in a movie.
Okay.
That's all that there is for this
Mhm.
show.
Okay. That's pretty cool. So that's a pretty, you know, you could watch that over the weekend. So that's what I might do later on
Yes.
this weekend when I get back. But we coming at it from a fan, you were skeptical about the Netflix live adaptation. Now, this isn't the first time that people have been skeptical because generally things like anime, computer games, anything like that is quite hard to do a live action translation of and to kind of do it justice to the source material. Would you
Yeah.
say that's fair to say?
That's being generous on this. It is very hard to do, and I want to say a quick shout out to my bud Paul of the Star Wars guys. He looks like he's been a Shield Maiden Berserker brother for 4 months.
Oh, have I missed it? I'm so sorry, guys. Let me go back and check that. Yeah, they don't show up for some reason, but
Yeah.
let me say a massive thank you. Says hail to Purple and hail to my TNT co-host Brandon. Thank you, sweetheart. I
Yes.
am so sorry that the member chats don't show up in the StreamYard. So thank you for catching that, Brandon. Thank you.
Well, you'd think that StreamYards would fix that so that way they
Yes.
could capture that to keep up with what YouTube is doing, but no, one of the frustrations that just goes into being a live streamer in the current environment. But going back to the show, yes, I the jazz soundtrack, it's very free flowing and it
Mhm.
fits into the show. And without that soundtrack, this show doesn't work.
Right.
So, having said that, the anime, as I said, I absolutely adore it. It's great, it's fun. Plus, it also doesn't go over the top. It doesn't go over the top with its swearing. There is some, but it's not like an F this, F that, F you all the time. It
Mhm.
doesn't have violence for violence sake. If it has violence, it's because it's integral to the story and it's part of it. And then it has levity, and it has a decent amount of levity. It doesn't try to overdo it. It doesn't try to force it. It's it is as free flowing and as perfect of a show as you could get for the time.
Mhm.
And because of that, I absolutely agree that this show should be on everybody's watch list. Don't hesitate. Watch it. No, hesitate. Watch after this show. Go get it. If you're still brave enough to have Netflix, Netflix has it. Fun, there are other places that have it. Go watch it. It's well worth your time. Now, having said that,
Mhm.
what Netflix has done, and as I alluded to, I I do not like what they've done at all. And as we had discussed in the green room, we agreed to tackle this on two different ways.
Yes.
Tackling it as a show that is fresh and new and doesn't have anything to go on before, and then as a show that is trying to live up to what came before.
Yes.
So, whichever way you want to go first, I'm ready to dive into this.
Well, I'm coming at it, like I said, from a novice, from somebody who is not familiar with the characters. I'm just coming at it from the live action at the moment. Um, we up leading up to the release, there's been a lot of reviews been
Mhm.
given out, and on the whole, they have been negative. Now it seems to be the same things they're picking up. It was too ambitious. It didn't capture the tone of the anime. The cast, although they tried incredibly hard, didn't manage to capture the essence of the characters that they're playing. Um, on the plus side, at least for me, I thought visually it looked very nice. You know, they've obviously spent a hell of a lot of money on this show. I thought the ships looked great. I thought the CGI was pretty good. Um, Choreography, when we had the fight scenes, I thought was good. Especially since it looks like John Cho did a lot of his own stunt work. Now, whether that is the case or whether it was clever editing, I'm not sure, but it looked pretty fluent. Although some of the fight scenes went on, at least for me, a little bit too long, especially in the third episode. Um, they have this fight scene on a rooftop that just seems to go on and on and on. And the other thing for me that was a negative was that these episodes are all different lengths. It's kind of jarring. So you've got one episode that's about 35 minutes, you've got one episode that's about 45 minutes, then it goes back down to about 35, 38, and then I'm pretty sure there's an episode that's an hour long. It's a really odd kind of inconsistency that they've got going with these.
Yeah, that it is. It's I've never understood that the whole idea of doing shows like this where you have multiple variations in length. And probably for some things it's good, but you're right. Having the first episode be 60 minutes and the next episode be like 35, 40 minutes. And yeah, I've moved the mic. Is that any better?
That's fine. Yep, sounds okay
Okay.
to me.
So yeah, that part of it is not something. It can be a little jarring for people. I can see that. As far as what they do with the time that they've allotted themselves for these episodes, that's where I think they can get themselves in trouble. And that's why I like the idea of having you have to have everything done within a 24-25 minute frame or a 40 to 45 minute frame for a 1 hour show. It doesn't leave you room to do filler. It doesn't leave you room to do crap. It makes it to where you have to really focus and actually think about what you're doing. And it allows them to do a tighter story. And for the first episode, this story had a lot of extras to it that I did not was not expecting. Let's put it that way.
Right. Before we kind of go into kind of depth for at least the first episode, what did you think of our main cast? What did you think of John Cho, Mustafa Shakir, and Daniela? Is it Pineda?
Pineda.
Pineda. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
Daniela Pineda or
Pineda.
Pineda.
Thank you.
I don't. I'm not. Unfortunately, I am not of Latino heritage, so my enunciations and pronunciations of Spanish names suck ass. So if I screwed it up, I'm sorry. But as far as John Cho, he's too old. He's way too old. He looked if he was 20 to 25 years younger, yes, he would be fine. He would be okay. I don't take anything away from him as far as his physical condition. He is in peak, ridiculously good condition.
He is, yeah. I will give him that. He looks great. He does certainly not look his age, but
He's still too old.
he's still too old for the character. Yeah.
Now, as far as Mustafa Shakir,
Mm-hmm.
I like him. He out of the three, he encapsulates his character not only visually the best, even better than Cho, but he has a lot of the mannerisms down. To me, he feels the most authentic to the original character.
Mm-hmm.
I like him. He does a good job.
Yeah, I've got to admit, of the main three cast, he was my favourite character. He seemed to have the most
Absolutely.
heart. He was the most interesting, obviously not knowing the characters from the anime, at least for me. And he made me want to, follow his backstory, especially in the next couple of episodes. We learn more about him. He used to be an ex-cop. He's estranged from his wife and his daughter that he hasn't seen for a very long time. And in the third episode, he's actually on this mission to get his little girl a birthday present, which I thought was really endearing. I thought it was a really nice kind of side plot that they had going.
Yeah.
The Dead and the Damned has a question for you.
I think they reused a lot of the stuff from the show, and they wrote pieces to complement it or in the same style. I didn't look that close to see who the actual music writer or a score producer was for this show, so unfortunately I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, they one of the criticisms that I've read in a lot of the reviews that have come up is that they had the right heart, but they didn't hit the mark with this. So there's a lot of jazz music within the live action, and it seems to be used very well on the whole. It's used whenever Jet Black is on the ship relaxing. He puts a jazz record on. There's a lot of jazz bars that they visit, and it's there. And during the fight scenes, you get this very frantic music playing, which works quite well. But
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
yeah, the musical score, that's one thing that they did do, I will give them credit for. You know, I was told, my wife told me, "You're too negative. Stop being so damn negative on everything." I'm like, okay. With this, I will go into it with as open a mind as I can. You know, no one's perfectly blind to things when they first come into it. They're always going to have some level of coloring to their perception. But I told her I would do my best. And she said, pick out something that's positive that you can say about it. And I will say the musical score does work for the live action. It's fine. That's the one thing I will say for sure is it is good. That part of it is good.
Yes. Leading into this, one of the main kind of sticking points and one of the things I think that maybe detracted from it was the controversy with our main female cast member. Now, I've only, like I said, I've watched the 3 episodes. You watched the first one. She is only in the first episode so far. I mean, obviously she's going to be in it later on as well, but I was a little bit surprised that she wasn't used more. And even in the first episode where she shows up, she's not there for very long.
Yeah, and oh boy, I'm gonna temper my words carefully. I don't like her. I really don't like her. I don't blame John Cho for wanting to shoot her in the face. I cannot stand her. Danielle Pineda completely and utterly screwed the pooch with her interpretation of Faye Valentine. There, I've said it in the nicest way that I can say it. She sucks. You know, putting aside all the bullshit with her from before, putting all that aside, her just everything about her, the way she walks, the way she talks, the way that she holds a gun, just the fact that she's even in the first episode pisses me off. I'm going to do just a little tiny spoiler for the anime. She doesn't show up for the first few episodes. She is nowhere near this first episode. She has nothing to do with it, yet they decided to throw her into this. Why? To piss me off. That's why. That's why they did it. They did it to piss me off. I know it's egotistical of me, but you know what? What the hell? They pissed me off. I don't like her.
No, she didn't really endear herself to me. I've heard that the character in the anime is kind of antagonistic, but at least she's, somebody that you can warm up to.
Yeah, she is antagonistic, but she's not a bitch. Danielle Pineda acts like a total bitch, a total tool, a total. I'm gonna cut myself off there as far as the language goes. That's as extreme as I'm gonna get with her. Suffice it to say, I don't like her. I really don't like her.
No, I've got to admit, I wasn't keen, and I know there's controversy coming in because of what she said about the outfit that she had to wear. Some people have said that she was just being joking, she was just being a little bit flippant, but just going by the tone that she used, she didn't really endear herself to me. And when she is on screen, she's just not that interesting a character.
No, she's not.
Whereas Chow and Mustafa have much better kind of chemistry together. She doesn't seem to gel very well. Now, whether it gets better as the series goes on, I will see, because obviously she becomes the third member of this crew. I class as the fourth member of the crew because obviously we have Iron as well.
Yes, Iron is so cute and cool. I'm not a big dog person, but I'll take a corgi. I'll take the doggy. I'll take the doggy over her any day.
If it's any consolation, the dog that they got to play Iron is absolutely adorable. So,
well, that's good. At least they didn't muff that up.
Yes. Yeah, really, really cute dog. It was great to see, and he does show up in the third episode, which is nice. But if I was her, I wouldn't want to be upstaged by a corgi. So we will see if the chemistry gets better between the cast.
Well, it in the anime it does. When they first get her, a minor spoiler. If you haven't seen the anime, mute your thing for about 30 seconds. If you have, then you'll know. The boys of the Bebop go after her as a bounty. And it's then that they meet her and throw her into the can and
Hmm.
handcuff her. Not at the beginning of the show, her chasing her, her going after this close to the same bounty as who they're after in this first episode. And
Hmm.
then doing that to her and then her getting out and stealing their guns and crap like that. No, that that didn't happen. That doesn't happen. And the way that they've changed this the way that they've changed this episode, as I said, for me it just doesn't gel.
What did you think of the opening of the episode? I on the casino. I thought it was a pretty good kind of intro. It was pretty action packed. You kind of get to the heart of the characters pretty quickly. You learn
Mhm.
who Spike is. You learn who Jet Black is, and how they kind of take on their roles, how they come at a job. I thought that was pretty well done for somebody who wasn't familiar with the source material.
Yeah, as far as that goes, the thing that that the casino scene does is it sets up the fact that this is in space. There, when you get further into the series, you'll find out why they're out in space, or why most everything is not on Earth, or why things are not Earth centric.
Hmm.
That's the most that I'll say about it. To answer Mark's question, there is a reason why it's called STD. So I haven't watched it. I don't plan on watching that. As I said, I watched Netflix's Bebop, for science's sake, for the study and the conversation, just to see for sure if they, to answer that question, did they do right or did they screw the pooch?
Hmm. Well, you came at it as a fan, didn't you? You know, you had high hopes, as a lot of people do when it's
Yeah.
something that you enjoy and you want the source
Well,
material to be
I
respected.
believe I believe we as fans, we have high hopes. We want whatever's coming next within a universe that we like to be good. We don't want it to be bad. So, going back to what, about 5, 6, 7 years ago now, when
Hmm.
everything started going to the woke side, if I remember correctly, I believe that the delineation mark is Ghostbusters 2016. From that point, that's when the automatic assumption of things being good or at least acceptable changed. And then we had to basically flip the switch from being automatically, I'll accept it, to what the hell is this? I'm not going to accept it until they prove it to me that it's good. And that's not a fun way to be, but this is their own fault. They're the, Hollywood producers, these companies, this is all they're doing.
Hmm. And I want to say a massive thank you to Mexican Iron Man. He sends us a 9.99 super sticker. Thank you, honey. And it says number one fan. Thank you so much and good morning.
Woo!
Good to see
Mexican
you.
Iron Man in the house.
Oh, yes. So let's give a little bit of backstory to the first episode, at least. So we're
Yes.
introduced to our uh, lead characters. They're on route on to do a job. They're trying to take in a bounty, and predictably, pretty much everything goes wrong for them. Um, they
Yes.
only manage to capture one of the people um, alive. Uh, you know, and this recuts into their profits. There's supposed to be another 6 that they could have brought in had they listened to each other and had they actually worked together instead of trying to do things 2 different ways. So it already sets up this friction between the 2 characters, whereas one really wants to kind of play by the rules, which is Jet Black. You know, he has a plan, he wants to stick to it, and Spike's a little bit more kind of loose when it comes to doing a job. He goes much more on instinct and he reacts a lot quicker. I think it's
That he
fair to
does.
say.
And when you get further into the show, you'll understand why. With there's a reason why that Jeff Black is the way he is, why he does things the way he does, and why he tries to play more by the rules. And one of the reason is money. As you
Mhm.
see when they do turn him in, the one dude they did take in, the leader of this heist, he was worth 1.5 million yuan or whatever their currency that they're calling it.
Yeah,
But
Wulong, yeah.
yeah, Wulong.
Yep.
But when they actually go turn him in, they deduct all the damage that was done and all sorts of other fees to where he only collected 100,000 for him instead of the 1.5. And as he puts it, that barely covers the cost of the fuel that they used in the Bebop. So at least in this universe, it's nice to know that A, capitalism, for better or worse, still exists.
Mhm.
B, things are not unlimited. You are limited on your fuel as you are limited on your ammo.
Mhm.
And C, you just can't go and do whatever you want without consequences. Hello, Marvel. Hello.
Yes, I actually really like that. I thought that was a really nice touch. Whereas,
Makes it realistic.
technically they didn't cause all the damage. That was one of the gang members, but because they were the ones that were trying to bring them in and they were the last one standing, they get charged for the repair bill, which I thought was pretty
Yep.
funny.
Yeah, they get stuck with the check. It's like what's Rip Torn's character in Men in Black. Yeah, we're the
Mhm.
last ones holding the check. Everybody's leaving except us, and we're the ones flipping the bill.
What did you think of the use of this mysterious drug that's introduced in the first episode? It's called Red Eye. Obviously, this is something that's very important. It kind of the character that is introduced, that's kind of this guy that's on the run from the syndicate, which I'm guessing we will learn a lot more about as the season progresses. He's taken this drug from them. He's trying to make a new life for himself with this girl that he's fallen in love with. Um, and but what it basically does, once he takes it, it roids them up to this almost superhuman level.
Yeah,
What did
it
you think of that?
also
Yeah.
it also increases their reflexes.
Hmm.
Basically, it's almost like turning on bullet time, and then
Yes.
roiding them out, increasing their stamina, increasing their rage, increasing everything else about him to where he can dodge bullets, smack people once and they're down for the count, that type of stuff. A very powerful and illicit drug within
Hmm.
this universe.
I thought that was a pretty interesting way to introduce it. I thought it worked pretty well. I actually liked the
Yeah.
character of Asimov. I thought he was an interesting character. And then we have the girlfriend character, who's you think Katerina is going to be this kind of side character, and she turns out to be a lot more important than she really is. And she's also the kind of gateway into bringing in the third member of the party, obviously Faye.
Yeah, and that's where it goes off the rails as far as how reasonably close are they following the anime. Only about a third of that actually transpired within the anime.
Hmm.
But in terms of adapting it to something else, yeah, I guess it works for introducing Faye, but at the same time, as I said, the timing of it threw off the flow of the show. Knowing how the first episode plays out and seeing this being more or less closer to a one for one, it screws with it. It threw
Hmm.
off the balance.
Now, that's one of the things I was going to ask you. Are they following the plot of the anime, or are these original stories that they're making?
It's a mixture. As I said, the first episode of this
Hmm.
does follow the first episode anime as far as who who Jet and who Spike are after, why they're after him, where it takes place, the initial confrontation with the syndicate, the subsequent confrontation with the syndicate though, I don't recall happening.
Hmm.
That didn't happen in the original anime, but heighten the tension, sure. And then the ending part with this gal not being pregnant, even though she looked it. more carrying all the extra stolen vials of red eye, and then trying to escape through the jump gate, only to be completely shot to hell by the police.
Hmm.
But
And this
there's one.
female character, she was the daughter of somebody who was very rich and powerful, it seems. So
Yeah,
I'm curious to see, as the episodes progress, is this going to come back and bite them in the ass? Which I'm guessing it is.
well, that's the thing. From everything that I see, from what I've seen, from what I recall, that's completely new
Hmm.
within this.
Yeah.
This person that was with Asimov, from what I recall, she was basically just she was. I don't like to use the word nobody, but she was a nobody.
Yeah, she was
And
just
everything that
a
yeah,
extra
she was just there.
character. Yeah.
And from what I recall, I don't recall anything further happening because of this, or having a consequence to that, to them running, and Faye not taking her back to her, as she put it, dick-headed daddy.
Hmm.
But
See, it would seem to me that Faye would be the one that's in trouble, because she
yeah, because
obviously
she screwed up. She didn't take she didn't
she,
take her target in.
she didn't bring her back, yes, as requested. So why, whether or not this will, be something that follows her, I hope it is, and it's something that I'm going to be following just to see. But really, this is a side plot that doesn't have anything to do with Jet and Spike, because it's not their, it wasn't their mark, it wasn't their target.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing. She really isn't their target or their mark, but she gets involved with it. And in the anime, it's Spike that reconfronts Asimov,
Hmm.
and then they run, and he chases them to the warp gate, and then everything else plays out as it pretty much as it did. Uh, as I as I said, they've changed quite a few things to try to fit into a 60-minute, or 55 minutes of actual show.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of things that they did that, to me, it just doesn't work. It doesn't flow right. And that's because I know how the original show played out. So, as from the standpoint of, had this been anything other than Cowboy Bebop, yeah, this would have been, I could see this. I could accept it a lot easier, and
Hmm.
probably enjoy it a lot easier than what I did.
And so if they just come up with their own kind of 70s in space, we've got the bounty hunters, and everything's a little bit kind
Space
of run down.
1999.
Yes. But because
Yeah,
it has the Cowboy Bebop name attached to it, that's where the problem lies for you.
that's exactly, to
Hmm.
me, where the problem lies. And I do want to touch on a few other things, but go ahead and read, Mr. Snowdub.
Will do. I want to say a massive thank you and good morning to Snowdub Live. Hello, love. It says, "Hail, friends. Hashtag Team Puff. Hashtag cancel Mexican Iron Man." Good morning, honey. Good to see you.
Yes, hello to everybody that's come in a little later, and are now with us now. Now,
Absolutely.
here's the one of the things that you touched on earlier.
Hmm.
I don't like critics. I don't trust them anymore. They've proved themselves to be, most of them, to be complete hacks and tools and dweebs. But every once in a while, they'll actually review a show and give a truly honest opinion. And this show is one of those that is divisive. And here's what I mean. I did
Yes.
just a quick search for Netflix Cowboy Bebop. The first three sites that, Microsoft and Bing, I don't use Google, I can't stand them. That's a side issue. The first three sites that they brought to me was CNET,
Hmm.
The Daily Beast, and Mashable.
Okay.
Here's their headlines. CNET, Cowboy Bebop Review. Netflix's live action adaptation, a fun, thrilling romp. IGN's website, they also gave it like a 7 out of 10, a similar type of thing.
Hmm.
But then again, they're tech channels, so their perspective is a little different. They probably got people on there that are more anime-ish type fans to begin with, so they're both okay with it. Go over to Daily Beast. Headline: Netflix's Cowboy Bebop is a flaming pile of space trash. And then Mashable. Headline: Netflix's new sci-fi series is fine. It's just not Cowboy Bebop. 1, 2, 3. Let's not. And that's where it all comes into this.
Dalek 451 says Aish saying this show could have been okay if it wasn't Cowboy Bebop.
I'm going to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because they do have. Had Cowboy Bebop not existed, and this was the first foray into this story, we wouldn't have had anything to compare it to. And yeah, I think it would have been okay. You know, not great, but then again, you know, a lot of sci-fi stuff really isn't that great. It takes time for certain sci-fi shows or certain types of shows to really germinate and become the monsters or to hit the zeitgeist like they do. Star Trek is a perfect example of that.
Yes.
It was popular, but not that popular in its initial run. But when it hit the reruns in the 70s, smack, boom, straight to the moon. Literally.
Agreed. And just going by some of the critic scores that you were talking about. Now, generally, I don't pay any attention to Rotten Tomatoes because, you know, why would we?
No, I don't like
But
that.
it is worth noting that before the initial release, it was sitting at around 38% on the critic rating. It's up to 50% now, but the audience score is 54. Now, when the audience score and the critic score kind of align, that's where it's worth taking notice.
And I think it goes back to who's watching it, who's seen the anime. As I said, NB Geek I think is more of an exception than the rule, at least in my opinion. He likes both of them, and that's great. But me, I like the anime. I love the anime, but I don't like the live action. Whereas somebody who's never seen the anime or doesn't even know that it exists or knows any parts of the story, I could see them being okay with this or liking it or willing to give it more of a chance or willing to go through the whole 10 episodes.
Yes.
And doing that.
I would agree with that because that's kind of my position at the moment. Like I said, what I will do once I've watched the 10 episodes, I'll watch the anime. And if it's a palate cleanser, then all the better. It gives me something to look forward to.
Yeah,
but
I believe it'll be a palate cleanser.
Even Rotten Tomatoes says on their critics' consensus, maybe next time Cowboy Bebop, this live Space Bebop, this live-action Bebop has a fun enough crew to spend time with, but disappointingly replaces the soulfulness of the source material with kitsch.
Yeah, that's pretty much the base total of it. You know, they try, but it doesn't work. It failed. That if I had to sum this up, I would sum it up in this fashion. There's a reason why things are animated, and there is a reason why certain other things are not. This is the type of show that had to be done animated to hit all the notes. The spaceships, outer space, the cities, the contortions of the characters, the expressions. It can only truly, really be done with animation. It can't be done with CGI. It can't be done in live action. Even with good prosthetics and good, practical effects, it just can't be done.
Would you say it's fair, though, to give at least our main cast some credit? They seem to have worked very hard to get down the mannerisms. MB Gig was talking in his super chat about the way that John Cho has, encapsulated the character, even to the way he leans up against the wall. I thought, he seems to have done his research, at least with the character. They weren't going into this, at least not knowing the background of the characters that they're playing.
Absolutely. As I said, if John Cho was younger, he'd be. Right now, I give him a passable grade of a C. If he was 25 years younger, I would give him a B plus. I still don't think he's perfect, but yeah, he did take the time to study. He did take the time to get himself into the type of shape, to learn the martial arts, needed, or at least enough of it to be able to do the proper wire fighting.
Hmm.
So yeah, he's passable. He's okay. And then for oh, like I have such a tough time remembering his name. I feel so bad. Mustafar.
Mustafa, yeah.
Okay, he's fine. He, to me, you are right. He encapsulates Jet Black to a T. I give him an A. No, I have no problem with him whatsoever.
Yeah,
It's
I've
with
got
Daniel Pineda that we run into trouble again.
yes, yeah. If it was just the two of them, on adventures together, I would be just fine with it. Um, Now I know that she has to be there because she is one of the main cast, but we're also missing another very important character in this
Mm-hmm.
show, which has been one of the sticking points for a lot of the reviews. There's a character missing, and it's one of the fan favorites. It's Ed.
Edward. Yep.
Yeah.
Ed.
Mm.
You're. Oh.
Yeah, so where
Oh
and I,
man.
and I haven't seen a explanation as to why Edward is not in this yet. Whether they're going to be introduced in another series, if they get a second
They'd
series, I
have to.
don't know.
Ed is very integral in certain parts of the story, especially with obtaining certain things. And yes, Ed is hilarious. Absolutely, Ed. Oh, everything about Ed and how she integrates into this adult world. She's basically a 12-year-old genius who integrates into this world of with adults, finds her place in it, and makes the best out of everything. And from everything I've seen, she makes the Bebop people, the Bebop crew, so much better. She connects with Faye Valentine. She connects with Jet, and she connects with Spike. Even though Spike, later on in the series, he does say a few things. There are certain things that he does not like and does not want to deal with. He doesn't want to deal with women, and he doesn't like dogs, and he doesn't like kids. And he gets stuck with all three of them.
That's going to be interesting to see. I really hope if that's part of the plot of the anime, I hope that they kind of translate that well into the live action. Well, obviously they won't because we're missing one of the key ingredients there. But I would be very
Yeah.
curious to see going
Well,
forward how.
what I'm
Now,
afraid they're going to try and do with Ed, when you first meet her, you don't. It's ambiguous as whether she is a male or female, and it comes
mhm.
out that she's a female. She doesn't make any bones about being a female, although a young one. I have a feeling that they're going to try and do something like she's a he, he's a she, she's a he, she. They're going to try and shove the transgenderism agenda into this when it doesn't need to be there. All they have to do is just have a young female play a tomboy. That's basically what she is. She's a tomboy. That's a very rough sticking point for me. So
Hmm. I'd be curious. DJ Ronnie D said TAS had the ability to do locations, which couldn't be done on the TV budget, but the animation was often quite static, and the voices definitely got old.
he's referring to in the chat. There was a quick
Mhm.
discussion about
Yep.
Star Trek, the animated series.
Yes, I was seeing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's a case with this? I mean, looking at it, they've clearly spent a hell of a lot. The budget was very big for this. They've spent a lot on the CGI. They've spent a lot on the look, and it looked great. I thought, the planets that they were on, they put a lot of work into making them all look different. We've got one called New Tijuana, for example. We've got one that's more kind of industrial, excuse me, looking. I thought that at least they did well with.
Yeah, they spent the money on the CGI. They definitely didn't spend the money on the actors, or not enough to get somebody better than Daniel Pineda. But yes, the CGI, there's some that say it looks fake, and well, it is fake. That's CGI. CGI is fake. But
But it
trying to make it
wasn't
look real
yeah, it
enough.
wasn't so bad that it took me out of it though. I
Yeah.
thought, they worked very hard on making the ships look weathered. The ships that we see, they look like they're working ships, including the Bebop.
Yeah, yeah, they changed the look at the Bebop a little bit, but you're right. It doesn't. It's it's like how it was put years ago. The difference between Star Trek and Star Wars. Star Trek, everything's new, except for garbage scowls. They're not new. Whereas in Star Wars, nothing is new except for the Empire, because the Empire is the only one that can afford new ships. Everybody else, secondhand ships, ships that have been put through the ringer and back, battle damage, scarred, put back together. Hence the Millennium Falcon being the
Hmm.
giant junk heap that it is. It may do point 0.5 past light speed, but it's a pile of crap that's ready to fall apart at any minute.
No, but I've got to admit, I like that the attention to detail they gave. It
Yes.
looks the worlds look like they're real. They look like they're lived in. The people there look, um, even the extras, that they've had, and there's some pretty wacky extras in the background that they've added, especially in the third episode,
Yes. Now
which
that's something else that
which was
I'll give them
interesting.
credit on. In the anime, the characters that they do meet when they go to these various asteroids or planetoids or even to Mars, the characters that they encounter, they're very they're awesome in the anime, and they are very good in this. I will give them that. They did choose their extras pretty well.
Mhm. Speaking of extras and the cast, the extended cast, what did you think of our main villain that was introduced? Now, to me, I wasn't that impressed with Vicious um, as a character, or the guy that played him. Um, how does he compare?
He looks like a tool. He I don't like the way he looks. I don't like him. Vicious, there's a reason why he has that name in the anime, is because he is vicious. But yeah, the person that they chose to play him in this live action reimagining,
Mhm.
I don't like it.
No, but
I don't like it. It doesn't work.
he didn't do much for me as either, to be honest. I didn't find him particularly menacing, and I didn't really find him that interesting, even though clearly he has real backstory with Spike. There's a lot
Massive
of
backstory.
a lot of history between them. By episode 3, you get a little bit more behind the scenes. Why they hate each other, and but still, I didn't really feel him as a character. Nothing against the guy who plays him, but it's Alex Hassel. But I was thinking, it's like,
He
I
doesn't
don't
fit.
really, I don't really care.
No, no. They did a lot of they did a lot of spoilers there at the end with him that I don't
Hmm.
recall being either in the first episode or even since then. There's yeah, I the very ending thing with the last survivor of the syndicate going to him and saying, "Yeah, we run into cowboys. Dude's name is Spike, but this other guy called him by another name." That's something that I don't recall either. I guess I got to finish the series. I'm
Hmm.
3/4 of the way through, but I don't recall anywhere in the anime Spike being anyone other than Spike. As
Hmm.
far as I know, that's his name. That's not a name that he takes on because of his past. That's just his name. I might be
Yes.
wrong.
Whereas in the live action, he's also known as Fearless. That's what he's called. And when Vicious hears this, his eyes kind of widen and he spins around. He's like, "What? What did you say?" Yeah, it's clearly it has a much deeper meaning to him. Whereas with the audience at the moment, it doesn't mean anything to us. No, as the episodes progress, we get to learn a little bit more about it, and obviously Spike is X from the syndicate. He's on the run from them. That's why he really doesn't want anything to do with them. He doesn't want to do a job that they're connected to. He wants to put as much distance between himself and them as possible.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
they don't want to have anything to do with the syndicate, as they put it. When they capture Faye and then they finally start talking about what's going on, they have one rule: if the syndicate's involved, you turn and walk away. And there's reasons for that, but but as he puts it, yeah, Spike. Now you want to follow the rules, really? I will give him that. That is one point of levity between the two that does mesh. I do believe that had they chose to focus on just those two for the first three episodes, or the first, yeah, like they did in the anime,
Mhm.
it probably would build them up better, as opposed to having Faye show up to screw everything up.
Yes, so I can see why she was introduced in episode one, but fortunately for anybody who doesn't particularly like her character, she's missing from the next two episodes, which was fine by me. So, but obviously she will be back. Another couple of characters that I wanted to pick up because I don't think they're the same as they were in the anime. We get to see a little bit of the characters Punch and Judy,
Yeah.
which was characters which I think pop up from time to time. Didn't really mean anything to me. I thought they were pretty good, but we will see if there's
There
more
is
to them.
there is one set of recurring characters that show up. It's the three old guys at the table playing cards. They have an interesting story. They're three of the original people that worked on those warp gates, or that
Oh,
make
okay,
interstellar travel possible, and they pop up every now and then, and they're funny.
okay. So that didn't mean anything to me when you first see them. I was like, just three guys doesn't mean anything. But again, this goes back to what we were talking about, having extra, the extras that seem to be playing a lot more interesting roles.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you gotta get into it a little further to see to see them come back into it, and what roles they play, or what type of levity that they bring to a situation. But yeah, this is as we talked about, the two things that were possible with the show. Either I could accept it enough, or my head would explode. Or third option, I gouge my eyes out with sporks and put the SETI Alpha 5 earworms into my ears, hoping that they rip out my eardrums so I can't hear it anymore. Fortunately,
Funny you were gonna say that because I was going to ask you, as a fan, are you going to continue? Are you going to watch the remaining episodes, or are you just going to draw a line under this live action?
I am going to draw the line.
Okay.
I like the anime. I really like the anime. I like how it flows. I don't like what they. I don't overall like what they did at this, as we've said, and I'm gonna harp on this till the end of time.
Mhm.
Had this show been something else other than Cowboy Bebop, I could live with it. I may not necessarily watch it because I don't like giving Netflix money. I had to give them money so I could do this, but rest assured, I'm going to dispute the charge because I'm going to
Ah,
claim that they fed me a line of crap with this
ah,
show. So we'll see if I get my money back or not. But the point is, I don't have Netflix, and this is why. I
mhm.
don't like them taking properties like this and trying to convert them into a Western IP. It doesn't work outright. Death Note is a prime example of that. It didn't work. Now we've
Yes.
got this. Had this been an original concept, something else, sure. Cowboy Bebop, absolutely not. The
Mhm.
same is going to be true with One Piece. The same is going to be true with any other
Berserk.
property that they
Yep.
touch.
Yep.
They've got a whole slew of these shows that they're wanting to adapt and basically westernize them.
Mhm.
And the way things work right now, no, this
Mm.
it doesn't work. It doesn't adapt right. So
I'm going to be a little bit more charitable. Like I said, I'm coming from this as a complete novice. There were bits of this show that I did genuinely like. I liked the chemistry between our two main actors. I thought they worked very well together. I thought, on the whole, the sets and the choreography was pretty good. The music, I thought, probably doesn't
music's great.
doesn't capture quite as well as the anime does, but I thought the tone worked really well. And I thought, the use of jazz, especially in a lot of the more important scenes, worked really, really well. I'm going to continue. I'm going to watch the rest of the 10 episodes. Like I said, generally, I give a show 3 episodes. If it doesn't grab me, I just let it go. But I think there's enough here for it worth being a rest of the watch. So I'm going to continue with it. For me, if I was going to give it a out of 10 at the moment, I would probably give it let's say a 6. I think now, it hopefully that will get higher as the episodes go. But what about you, just to give it quickly out of 10 before I bring our other guest on?
Well, here's what I will suggest. Since you haven't seen the anime, go ahead and finish this, then watch the anime, and then we need to have a discussion of the anime in full once you finish it and once I finish it. I plan on having it done
Okay,
hopefully this next
we can do
weekend.
that.
But once you have finished the anime, you need to sit down and reevaluate the two, and maybe if I can muster the courage to park in front of my computer to watch it, because I won't waste my time with it on my couch. It's not couch worthy. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
At least I don't think it is. But once we do finish both of them, have another discussion with a full compare and contrast, and then having the chips lie where they may. And then, as far as where I would give it now, I'm going to be charitable and give it a 4 out of 10.
Okay.
4 out of 10, precisely because I know how the story is supposed to go, and they deviated too much.
Okay, that's fair enough. Like I said, I wanted somebody, one, who knew the anime, and then me, who doesn't. So we're coming at it completely from different angles, which I think was an interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah.
And for anyone who's wondering, no, I don't have Netflix. As I said, I got rid of Netflix a long time ago when the you know what happened. But there are other ways of finding this show. So just in case anyone's...
Army matey.
Exactly. In case anyone's saying, yeah, oh, Purple, she bent the knee and got Netflix. No, she didn't.
Well, as I said, I hate Netflix. I haven't had it for a while, and the only reason why I did it is because I'm doing it for science. That's the only reason. And as I said, I'm going to try and get my money back because I feel ripped off.
Oh, bless. Brandon, I want to say a massive thank you for joining me today. Before we go, guys, there is someone else I would like to bring on. We have got a very special event happening over the weekend, and I'd like him to kind of give us a little bit of detail and kind of tell us what to expect. So let me welcome Mark, the Infinitely Tired. Hey, Mark.
Hello, Purple. Hello, Brandon. How are you guys doing today? Or ladies and guys doing today?
Mark,
Doing
I'm
all right.
doing well.
Doing all right, thank you.
I'm barely awake right now. As a matter of fact, once this is over, I'm probably going back to sleep because I stayed up late to kind of get ready for this evening.
Yes, exactly.
So sorry if I sound a little bit snottier than normal because I am tired. But to answer your question, with today at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, we start Mary's Game Room officially kicks off her 24-hour gaming marathon. The first part up until, and God, I'm not gonna remember times. We're doing it basically half and half, where half of the first half is digital gaming and the second half is physical gaming. But during some of the points, she is going to allow people to come up and come play with us.
Nice.
So she has put a schedule in her Discord. I don't know if she's dropped it in Twitter. I don't think she did. She was going to wait till later today to do it. But she will list the games that we have on hand. And all of them you can find on Steam or Epic, of course. And if you want to join us, come up and join us. And if you want to come up and have a good time just to say hello, just hit Mary up and do that. I mean, we're going to run. She's running the charity. The charity's still on as far as donations through the end of the year, but we're trying to culminate everything in this because we're doing our prize drawings. She's doing, not us. She is doing her prize drawings at the end of the marathon on Saturday evening.
That is awesome. And a big thank you. Chris has put the charity link in as well. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Chris.
This charity is something that we've been supporting for most of the year. Mark, Mary, Loki, everybody has worked incredibly hard.
Oh, no. I'm silent in this. Always silent. No. Everybody else has worked hard. I play the game behind the lines. I do not take any credit. I'm there to help is all I am.
Absolutely. And big thank you as well, Chris. So it starts tonight, 7 p.m. I'm guessing that's 7 p.m. Is that Central Time?
6 p.m. Central.
6 p.m. Central. Okay,
7
awesome.
p.m. for you weirdos that live in the Eastern Time Zone, and 12 p.m. Midnight for you people that live in Zulu. So...
That is awesome. So, guys, if you can join them over the next 24 hours, this is a massive event. This is going to be something that is, something for the community. This is something that you can get involved with. Please, if you can, share the link. If you can donate, that would be amazing. This is for children's charity, a very, very worthy charity.
One quick thing, Purple, can I add?
Yep.
On her charity, inside of her charity website, there are prize tiers, and there's some pretty good stuff that's been donated to give away. The grand prize is a lightsaber, which Mexican Iron Man does not need to win, and somebody else needs. And please donate to everybody. Donate at least $10 to get in to keep Mexican Iron Man from winning a lightsaber. Sorry, Mike. There's Grogu ball. There's Grogu's balls, which is a singular ball, whether it be right or left. That's up to you to decide. A generous donation from Purple of a mug, sticker, and t-shirt set. A generous donation from Rambling Canuck with a 2-mug set. Which Rob Pearson made Grogu's ball, by the way. He metalworked that, which is awesome. He also did the lightsaber as well. But I have one on my keychain. I have his left one on my keychain. I said too much.
And the other, is it from? It's a pipe.
Yes, yes. I'm working my way up the ladder because I actually remember these. A mystery person whom I shall not name has donated ticket to the one game that we are giving away, Ticket to Ride, with its the 1910 expansion, and the Meerschaum pipe from. And I'm having a brain fart. What's the movie? National Treasure. Yes. The Meerschaum pipe, the decoder pipe, which was also made by Rob Pearson, is a prize in it. As well as Loki has generously I don't even know how to say this because it's an epic thing that he brought up, that he's giving away a bunch of stuff from his store, but it's not going to be given away that night. Was it Christmas Eve, he said? Purple?
Yeah,
he will be doing that Christmas Eve, as well as Team Valhalla. Loki, I mean, phenomenally has agreed to match up to 20 when we hit $2,500 to match up to it, to get us to get Mary up to 5,000, which I'm going to shave my head at the beginning of the year because it's going to happen. And yes, it will be live streamed.
Woo!
Yes, it will not be undercover. It will be an open live stream for everybody to see me go bald.
I think you'll look very distinguished, Mark. I think it will suit you.
I'll look like Uncle Fisher. By the way, I do have the light bulb. Rob sent me the light bulb, and I'll pop on camera tonight, or probably this afternoon when we start up and show everybody the little joke that Rob did. Little jerk.
Awesome.
But I don't think I missed anything, did I? I hope not.
Don't think so, no. But I'm so looking forward to this. Like I said, I know you guys have worked incredibly hard, and this is, now it's the final push, and you guys get to have fun, and we get to hang out with you and just enjoy the game streams.
Yes. So anybody, please come up. I know the gaming. When we have free gaming, you have to get in contact with Mary to see, because it fills up quick. In some games, there are only certain spots open for it. So if you have any of the games when she posts it, make sure to get in touch with her ASAP so you can grab a spot. I hate to say it like that, but it'll probably become first come, first serve.
I think it's going to be incredibly popular. So guys, please join Mark and Mary and everybody on this event over the weekend. I think they did it the previous couple of years, and it was a huge success, and I'm so glad that it was done again this year.
Yeah, it's been this one. Actually, this one, I don't know. Last year was the last one. Was kind of quick and came up out of nowhere. How it was all done, which was amazing. How much we raised in such a short amount of time. But the long haul in this one has actually been better, in my opinion. I mean, it just hasn't been as stressful as last year was.
Yes, I think so. And like you say, the community has really kind of gotten behind this.
Yes, they have.
Huge thank you to everybody who's been involved, everyone who's donated so far. You guys are the best.
Yes, they have. And I hope she doesn't kill me, because she would have been much better at doing this than me. But, she's probably asleep right now, because they were up playing Minecraft last night on Canucks channel for a good little bit.
That's understandable. So, guys, please join Mark and Mary and everybody later on today. A massive thank you to Brandon for joining me today. Really enjoyed getting to chat to Cowboy Bebop with you, so thank you.
Thank you, and definitely be there for the stream. I'll see if I can pop in and say hi and see if I've got some extra coin floating around that I can donate. So anybody that can be there, definitely be there.
Any little bit helps, no matter what. Even if you don't have to donate for a prize. Anything helps because it's all for kids, man. It's it doesn't matter. It's heroic just for, and I get to say it. Make the difference. Be a hero. It's for the kids. Loki, it's for the kids.
It's for the kids. Exactly.
But one quick thing. Brandon, can I ask a favor? Can you just say police girl and laugh maniacally, please? You don't have to go into the whole thing. Just say police girl and laugh like Alucard. If purple doesn't
police
matter,
girl. Police girl.
Nice. Well done.
Well, you know what they say about police girls. They love their cannons.
Yes, they do, but we won't say why.
And on that note, guys, I will say a massive thank you to Brandon, to Mark for joining me. You guys are the best. A huge, huge thank you to everybody who joined us in the chat today. You guys were on fire as always. Big, big thank you to everybody who sent super chats and super stickers. Really, really appreciate it. Purple is off. I've got a convention that I'm going to tomorrow. Then I'm going to go see Ghostbusters on Sunday. So I will be AWOL for the weekend, but I will be watching from the chats. So guys, have a fantastic weekend. Whatever you do, please support the charity if you can. That would be amazing. And I will see you next week. Take care, everyone.
Bye.